are many benefits to adding an outdoor living space to your home, and here now, sponsoring our segment from Cramer Siding and Window, is General Manager Chris Jackson. Chris, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan.
Absolutely. Now, we're talking about outdoor living spaces. Before we get into it, explain what that is.
Yeah, so it's really anything that you're trying to add on to your home. It can be anything from a deck, pergola, awning. You can even do four-season sunroom, screen room. There's really a ton of options out there.
So as little or as big as you want to go.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, exactly. Depending on what your budget is. Yeah.
That's awesome. What are some of the benefits for folks that do invest in an outdoor living space onto their home?
Well, it actually adds an 80% revenue ROI to your home as well, because you're adding living space to the home. That's specifically four-season sunrooms. You're actually adding that square footage onto your home because it is a part of the actual square footage of the home now, as opposed to just being an additional living space.
So there's actual value that gets added to the property value.
Yeah, correct.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about when you guys are building these. I know there's different types. You kind of went over them there at the beginning, but I think we got some pictures and stuff to look at. But what are the main types that you guys like to focus on?
Well, really the pergolas, awnings, patio covers, and then outdoor living four-season spaces. You can kind of see there on the screen that there's a four-season like that, what we transformed into just a straight-up patio out there that is now covered with a Four Seasons room that they can use as additional living space all 4 seasons of the year.
So that works in the wintertime too.
Yes, correct.
Maybe your deck might be a tough option.
Yes, exactly.
So depending on what your needs are, kind of determines what the room is going to be. When you guys have clients come in, what's the process for getting started? Do you guys kind of do an initial look around the house, or walk me through that?
Typically they'd reach out to us and we would end up kind of walking through what their objectives were and things like that. Then we'd actually end up sending a sales rep out to the home itself so that they can kind of get the measurements, get the idea, get the layout of what they're looking for, and then we'd price it on site there for them, kind of give them actually a 3D model rendering of what it could end up looking like for them as well.
Oh, that's cool.
And then, we go through the process of, if they end up deciding to move forward with us, it's a much shorter timeline than actually having to, do a whole new addition to your home. You're looking at more of a 12 to 14 week timeline as opposed to, being without your home for 6 to 8 months,
Right.
And it's not as intrusive into your home as well, because you're not having to cut back into walls or anything like that, so you're able to just kind of add this space on.
Leaves a little bit less of a footprint on your life.
Yes, correct.
While maintaining that value for your home.
Yeah.
And I mean, so, case in point, we're coming out of summer here, we're going into fall. If you wanted to have a Four Seasons room that was ready for the wintertime, I mean, you could have that done.
Yep, exactly. And then that would allow them to be able to use that space all year long.
That's awesome. Well, let's talk a little bit about your business, because you guys are clearly more than just siding and windows. Yeah. Aside from these outdoor space or indoor-outdoor spaces, what do you guys do in addition to that?
So there's obviously, most people just hear Cramer Siding Windows and think that's all we do. We actually do anything from roofing, siding, windows, doors, patio covers, pergolas, awnings, decks, four-season sunrooms, screen rooms. There's really a whole list of options. There's really not much we don't touch the home on the exterior of the home.
That's awesome. Yeah. One last question that I was just thinking about as you were saying all of that is the materials. When you're building these indoor, outdoor spaces that are kind of like an addition, what kind of materials are you guys using? Is it just wood, or are you guys using composite? Actually,
it's a styrofoam with actually fabricated metal on the outsides of them. So it is watertight, water sealed, and it does allow you to have full insulation throughout the 4 seasons of the year as well. So you're not having to, sit there and have the high cost that there are some, obviously we've incurred some costs over time, but you don't have the cost of where everything is with lumber these days and things like that, so it allows us to
save
work
on costs,
within the budget a little bit.
But you still maintain the benefit. I could talk about this forever with you guys, but we got to go. If you want to connect with Cramer Siding and Window and learn more about upgrading your outdoor living space, we're going to connect you at our website. We do appreciate Cramer Siding and Window for sponsoring our segment today.